It's Kevin Gamertag Magin. I'm bringing you some footage from the game AAA Lucha Libre Heroes del Ring. On this one, I'm just in training mode because either my computer sucks or the dazzle sucks, and when I tried to play an actual match, I just kept getting fucked up and just couldn't really tell what I was doing. But here, this shows you can still see the basics of the game. What's going on? You get these. Each person has the 5 stars over there, or 4 stars. You got to build it up. You get the 5th one. That means you can activate your special power to do your special move. And even when doing the strong grapples, you need to have a certain amount of star power to be able to pull off some of the bigger moves that do more damage. I think that's what just happened there while I kept breaking those grapples. I kept going for a move that I didn't have the star power enough to hit, which I think is a really cool change from like the normal SmackDown series. In this game, like, reversals are also really important. It flashes like the RB button to counter them, and it gains you a lot of points. And here you can see like top rope maneuvers gain you a lot of star power when you hit them, but when you miss them, you lose a lot as well, which I think is a nice emphasis on the risk and reward of high risk moves that the SmackDown vs. Raw series doesn't really have. Plus, if you go for a move when they're down on the ground, and you'll do the actual diving attack to them laying out, and if they get up, you're going to miss that move, unlike in SmackDown, because there's nothing I hated more than when you come off the top with an elbow drop, they stand up and somehow it still hits them and knocks them out. The roster in this game is pretty cool. You know, there's Laparca, Psychosis, and Conan, which you'll probably know from WCW if you like wrestling at all. And the graphics are pretty nice. I mean, they're good enough for me. I don't know if some people might expect something better, but they're pretty sweet. And there is the stunner. The move set in the game isn't super huge. You don't have a ton of choices like you do in the SmackDown games, but I think it's closer to what it should be. Like, it's enough for me in this game. Like, I don't need 150 different choices of moves to do, because while I think, like, when I watch a wrestling match, I want that to happen, but when I'm playing the game, I just don't remember what's going, like, which ones are there. There's so many different grapple combinations in the SmackDown vs. Raw games, I just don't really remember what I'm doing. So I really like this game. I'm hopeful that there will be a sequel that will just expand upon and give you a little bit more moves, just help to expand the way the game plays and some of the other options you have. One thing I was kind of disappointed by was the different matches you can choose. It only has a couple of them, like it's got 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, then it's got triple threat, 4-way matches, and then it's got 2 different handicap matches. And I was really hoping there would be some cool, more lucha-esque matches, like 2 out of 3 falls. I don't know if it's just because I watch CMLL more than AAA, but like 2 out of 3 falls matches is kind of what I expect from a lucha match. And it would have been awesome to have trios matches. And also, I'm sick and fucking tired of wrestling games even bothering with like triple threat matches and 4-ways if they're not elimination. It's just so fucking hard to win those games, and it's just frustrating. They always put them in the story modes. Here I looked through the story modes of the Luchador, or the Technico one first, and then the Rudos. I haven't beat the Technico one yet because I tried that one on normal, and right now I'm stuck at one that's a 3-on-1 handicap match, which is driving me insane. But I put the Rudos one on hard and just banged it out real quick, which is the best way to do it in my book, at least the first time, just so you can, because there's a lot of wrestlers you unlock that way. Here I'm going to start looking through the creator wrestler stuff, and you'll see that it doesn't have a ton of choices in creating your body like the SmackDown games do, which doesn't bother me. But what you see, the real heart of the creator wrestler here is, as you might expect from a Lucha or a AAA game or Lucha Libre game, is in the mask creation, which is goddamn awesome. So right here you pick the basic design of your mask, and there's around just shy of 30 I think of this one. You choose the different colors, then you choose the shape of the eye holes, the shape of the nose hole if you want one, the shape of the mouth hole, then you can add shit to the top of the mask and the sides, and it is just so awesome. And also going through, you can see like how you would create some of the more famous masks from even Japanese wrestlers as well as the Mexican wrestlers, which at some point in time I'll probably get around to doing just for fun. But here I'm just going through and showing some of the options and creating a mask that I like. But this is definitely a fun game. If you like wrestling games, it's an interesting one to pick up. The control scheme is very similar to SmackDown, versus Raw, just a little more simplified. It's also kind of a better version of the TNA game, because that game was awful. But this one feels kind of like it has the same kind of graphics, and I think it's got the same basic moves of how to fight and how the game works, but it's better done, so it's more like a wrestling game instead of what theirs was, which was pretty much a fighting game and was just not good. But this one's really, really a fun game to pick up and play. But I really wanted to talk about what I mentioned earlier, like the handicap matches and multi-person matches. I really want wrestling games just to stop doing them because they're not fun. The worst is probably SmackDown vs. Raw and their Money in the Bank matches. As I was playing 11, and I was doing the Christian storyline because I like Christian, and the storyline was awesome, so it brings back Edge versus Christian. And you get to the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I think I fucking fought that match for like half an hour before I was just like, fuck this, I'm not winning this match, I don't care anymore, and just put it down. Especially, I really think they can probably get rid of a lot of the hardcore, and especially ladder matches in games, because they're not fun like they are to watch, because you can't really innovate and do something crazy and cool that you've never seen before, because you're just going to recreate moments that the programmers could create for the game. I think the creators kind of need to realize that there's some stuff that's just only cool when it actually happens in wrestling and isn't that much fun to play. But if you're looking for a fun, different change of pace from the SmackDown vs. Raw, AAA is definitely the way to go. It's fun to play. There's a cool creator wrestler. You can see some of the... I'm just going to show you some of the options. I don't change a whole lot of what's going on. I kind of look at the tops. But it does have a nice little thing. Like here you can see the textile choices, so it makes it a little more plasticky or a little more clothy, which gives it more shine, makes it cool. Here I'm going to see the base. I'm going to back out of here. You're going to see these are pretty much your choices of how to wrestle. And each one of them has a decent amount of choices, not a ton, but I think it's a good amount. Enough for variety and a really good first showing. So it really makes me hopeful that we'll see a second one. Hopefully we'll get some CMLL involvement too, and that would be really cool to see.